A great hall floated above the gas giant of Veltor. It was the heart of the galactic dominion, filled with leaders, admirals, and ambassadors from over 200 alien species. The topic of the day, Earth, a small backwater planet in the Orion Arm. Recently added to the Dominion's watch list after intercepting radio signals, Earth was now a curiosity. Nothing more. On a wide holoscreen, the Dominion played a transmission. Grainy images showed humans, clumsy, unenhanced, primitive. They were still using combustion engines, still fighting each other with crude weapons, still trying to reach their own moon with shaky rockets. The hall erupted in laughter. The ambassador of the Drexel clicked his mandibles and said, "They call this a civilization? They use wheels?" Even the ice-blooded Turkins cracked grins. The Dominion Chancellor raised a hand to quiet the room. His deep voice echoed across the domed chamber. "Let it be known to all species. Earth is classified as level 0. No threat, no value, no need for contact." He looked toward the camera. This message was meant for the galaxy. It would be broadcast across every system. They are children. Let them play. The message was sent. What no one realized was that Earth heard everything. On the dark side of the moon, buried deep in a hidden base called Argus, a secret Earth monitoring station picked up the Dominion's message. It had been listening for decades, ever since Voyager 1 disappeared without a trace. The signal was filtered, decrypted, and sent down to Earth within minutes. The entire Security Council was summoned. In Washington, Beijing, Moscow, New Delhi, in Geneva, the reaction was the same: shock, disbelief, and something else. Not fear. Not yet. But anger. In a sealed room beneath the Pentagon, General Marcus Hale sat at the head of a long table. He stared at the replay of the alien broadcast. It looped again and again, the laughter echoing off the walls. "They think we're weak," Hal said. A quiet man in a black suit stepped forward. His voice was calm, practiced. "We knew this day would come. That's why Project Revenant exists." Eyes turned toward him. He tapped a code into a secure tablet. The wall behind him split open, revealing a screen. It showed the schematics of something massive hidden in Earth's orbit, cloaked from all known detection systems. A shape that looked more like a weapon than a satellite, the Revenant Array, the man said. 6 orbital stations, fusion cores, rail pulse launchers, directional EMP shields, and this, he zoomed in, reverse-engineered tech from the crash site in Siberia. A woman at the table, Director Asha Malik of India's Defense Research. Agents leaned forward. "That artifact was never supposed to be activated." "It won't be," the man said. "Not yet, but they called us children. That was their mistake." Round the world, classified projects went from dormant to active. In Antarctica, strange machines buried beneath the ice began to hum. In orbit, hidden satellites shifted position. In the deserts of Nevada, engineers awoke a program no one was supposed to remember, Skyfall Protocol. Meanwhile, back in the Dominion, the laughter continued. On over 1,000 worlds, the broadcast of Earth's mockery played. Children pointed at screens. Scholars joked about the humans and their fossil fuels. Admirals dismissed Earth as unworthy of even minor patrols. But in one lonely system, far from the Dominion core, a listening post received something unexpected. It was a transmission from Earth. Encrypted, simple, and short. Just 2 words. Message. Received. The operator, a 3-eyed Creole named Vutha, paused. She replayed the signal 3 times. It was unmistakably human, and it wasn't weak. She reported it up the chain. Her commander laughed. "Let them bark back. It changes nothing." "What?" But Vutha felt something in her stomach twist. Quiet fear. The humans didn't deny the message. They didn't beg. They didn't protest. They just listened and responded. Back on Earth, Project Revenant entered Phase 1. Every major superpower knew the truth now. Earth was not alone. And the galaxy thought it was weak. That could not be allowed to stand in low orbit. A human stealth probe, codenamed Ghostlight, was launched using quantum pulse thrusters. It slipped past Dominion sensors, using tech that had never been tested. Beyond simulations, its mission, scan nearby alien outposts, and return with intelligence. It approached the Arixa system, home to a Dominion listening array. The probe transmitted live feedback to Earth. Inside the array, hundreds of aliens operated in peace, unaware they were being watched. Then, suddenly the feed went dark. No explosion, no alert, just silence. In the control center of Argus Station, engineers tried to reconnect. No response. But then a strange signal came through, just static till one frame appeared. It showed the listening array spinning slowly in space. No lights, no movement, and floating in the center of the image was the ghost light. Probe still transmitting, untouched. It was the array that had gone dead. The entire Arixa system went offline minutes later. Every scanner, every comm station, even backup. Beacons gone. On Earth, leaders gathered once more. We didn't fire a shot, General Hale said. But something did, Director Malik replied. The man in the black suit simply nodded. The artifact is awake. In orbit, hidden behind Earth's moon, the Revenant array began to shift. Panels opened, weapons activated, systems tested. It wasn't fully operational yet, but it didn't need to be. Earth had been mocked. But now the game was changing, and they hadn't even begun to speak. Somewhere across the stars, a new Dominion meeting was held. The Chancellor was updated on the Arixa blackout. He frowned. For the first time, the word human was spoken with caution, ambassadors argued. Some said it was a malfunction. Others said Earth could not be responsible. But one voice, the Admiral of the Vorak fleet, stood tall. I've seen this before, he said. Long ago. Silent planet. Quiet mocked. Then it struck. Looked at the map. At Earth, they're not children, just quiet predators. The Chancellor didn't laugh this time. But on Earth, no one celebrated, because they knew this was only the beginning. The stars had laughed at them. Now it was Earth's turn. The file was not supposed to exist. It had no title in any official database, no records, no origin. But deep beneath the Pentagon, in a chamber sealed since the Cold War, it was there, stamped in red. Top secret Skyfall response code Alpha. General. Marcus Hale stared at the file in silence. It was covered in dust, its edges curled with time. He had never seen it before. No one had. The man in the black suit standing beside him didn't say a word. Hale opened the file. The first page was handwritten. The ink had faded, but the words were clear. If the stars turn hostile, bring down the sky. The room went cold, across the table. Director Asha Malik looked up slowly. You're telling me this was prepared? Decades ago? The man in black finally spoke. Before the moon landing? Before satellites? Before the internet? Someone knew. Someone always knew. The file revealed plans, diagrams, coordinates, a network of weapons platforms designed to be built in secret, far from public eyes. Most had never been constructed, but one. One had. High above Earth, hidden in Lorbit shadows, the RZ-9 Archangel platform existed. It wasn't built by any single nation. It was built in pieces, over decades, funded by black budgets and silent alliances. Even presidents hadn't known its true purpose. Until now, Archangel was not a defense station. It was a first-strike weapon, fusion-powered, self-repairing, shielded by adaptive camouflage that even Dominion scanners couldn't detect. It had no crew, it's only AI, and it had one core directive. If Earth is declared prey hunt. General Hale turned to Malik. Why? Didn't we know about this? Because, she said, it wasn't meant to be used? Not unless Earth was mocked, hunted, or marked. And now, Hale said, we've been all three. While Earth's leaders scrambled to understand the ancient plan, another meeting happened deep inside the Argus lunar base. Engineers and AI specialists had gathered around something long buried in Earth's history, a Siberian artifact. Recovered in 1979, after a strange crash in a remote forest, the artifact had never been fully understood. It was a black shard of metal that shifted shape, responded to human emotion, and pulsed with unknown energy. It had been stored in ice, sealed in concrete and left to rot. Now it was humming. No one knew why, till a technician scanning the shard's frequency found a pattern. Signal. It was answering something. A voice from deep space, a voice that mocked Earth. Somehow, the artifact had heard the Dominion's broadcast, and it didn't like what it heard. Malik leaned over the display. It's watching the shard's data stream. It's reacting like it remembers something. Remembers what? Ilay asked. The man in black answered quietly. Home. That word sent a chill through the room. What if Malik said slowly, this wasn't alien? To us? Before anyone could speak again, an alert blared through Argus Station. The Archangel platform was moving, not just reorienting, it was waking. Monitors showed energy spikes along the platform's spine. Rail pulse cannons calibrated themselves. A thin line of blue light flickered across its surface. Shielding activating for the first time in history. No one had told it to move. The AI inside Archangel was waking on its own. Down on Earth, satellites picked up something new. A flash near Saturn. A distortion ripple. And a faint, fast-moving object unidentified. Alien, the Dominion scout ship had returned. A different one this time. Smaller, faster, heavily shielded. It entered Earth's system like a ghost cloaked. Incautious, inside the ship, the alien pilot logged every reading. It had been sent to confirm the Arixa disaster, to see if Earth was somehow responsible. It believed it would go unseen. It was wrong. Archangel tracked it immediately, not through sensors, but through something else. The artifact signal had changed. It was guiding the AI, whispering in code, pointing. Archangel fired once, a silent beam of energy thin as a hair. Faster than light, the scout ship vanished. No wreckage. No distress call. No radiation spike. Just gone. The galactic network detected the loss. Alarms were raised. But Earth's name was never connected. Not yet. Back in the Pentagon, Hale and Malik watched the live feed from Archangel. You think? We just started a war? She asked. We didn't start anything, Hale replied. We were already in it. They just didn't know we could fight. The man in black turned to them, holding another file. Operation Gravemind, he said. We reactivated it an hour ago. Malik raised an eyebrow. I thought it was fiction, conspiracy stuff. It was, the man said. Until now. Gravemind was Earth's deep contingency plan. A secret task force created decades ago when whispers of otherworldly threats began to surface. Not just aliens, but relics. Warnings. Messages hidden in ancient ruins, cave paintings, and even DNA sequences. Humanity had been visited before. Long ago, something had come and left instructions. Not in writing, but in instinct, in design. Earth had been seeded with potential, but also with danger. Gravemind's mission was simple. If ever Earth was mocked, if ever it was marked for extermination, the sleeping lion must wake. All over the world, agents were activated, silos opened. Satellites were positioned. AI systems across military networks began sharing data at lightning speeds. But most chilling of all was what happened in Antarctica, inside an old Russian research base. Sealed for 50 years, the ice cracked open. Beneath it was a black obelisk, smooth, cold, silent. Until now, the obelisk began to glow in orbit. Archangel received the signal, not from Earth, from it, and the AI responded for the first time. Archangel spoke a single word through its internal log system. Awaken. Malik looked at the data and whispered, This thing is not just a weapon. Hale nodded grimly. It's a warning. Back in the Dominion core, the Chancellor stared at the growing list of system anomalies. He still didn't believe Earth could be the cause. But something was wrong. Quiet systems were going dark, data streams interrupted, ships vanishing without trace. And then, one by one, Dominion border colonies started receiving a strange signal. Audio only. Perfect galactic common, it said. Do not search for the wolves you mocked. They have found you. Panic spread. Admirals called for full investigation. The word Earth was spoken again, this time with less laughter. still. Many believed Earth had no real power, no true reach, no ability to strike. But on the edge of Dominion space, a mining colony looked up and saw something they couldn't explain. A black triangle in the sky. Silent. Immense. It floated for exactly 1 hour. Then it disappeared. No attack. No message. Just presence. The colony never sent another transmission. Back on Earth, General Hale stood before a war map that now reached. Far beyond Earth's atmosphere, he said. We're not declaring war. We're making them understand we are not prey. Malik nodded. If they attacked first, Hale's voice was calm. Then we bring down the sky. And deep in space, Archangel waited, watching, silent, but ready. The Zarnai patrol cruiser entered the Sol system without caution, was shaped like a spearhead, black with red engines, and carried 10 soldiers from the Galactic Dominion. They came not to make peace, but to prove a point that Earth was soft, weak, and blind to the stars. Their orders were clear: scan the system, map human defenses, and leave a message behind, one that would remind the primitive species of their place. The lead Zarnai pilot, Commander Carrick, laughed as his ship passed by Jupiter. They don't even have deep space sentries, he said to his crew, like children, curious but blind. His second in command, Varash, grinned. Should we decloak? Let them see us. Let them tremble. Not yet, Carrick replied. What? Let's see how close we can get before their little eyes notice us. They reached the orbit of Mars without resistance. No ships, no warning systems, not even a ping of detection. Earth's satellites were silent, old, and slow, easy to fool. Carrick allowed the cruiser to coast smoothly toward Earth, its cloak still holding. He wanted to get close enough to scan the oceans and cities. In their control room, holograms showed. Earth in full view, blue, cloudy, a beautiful planet. Untouched, unarmed. Varish leaned forward, so peaceful. Most a shame, isn't it? But something on the screen shifted. For half a second, all their displays blinked. Glitch. A faint, static ripple. Then a small object appeared near the cruiser. It wasn't there before. It was flat, triangular, and motionless, hovering near the ship's port side. It looked like a piece of metal, just floating. Varish frowned. What? Is that? Carrick turned toward the view screen. Scan it, system tried. Nothing returned, no signature, no signal, no heat. No mass. Impossible, Carrick said. Everything has mass. He reached for the comms and prepared to call for backup. But before his hand could touch the console, the lights on the cruiser dimmed. The engines stuttered. Every sensor blinked red. No, 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 no. No, what's happening? Fru shouted. The power dropped to 0. Life support froze. And then silence. From Earth, in the hidden Argus base. Engineers stared at the live feed from Ghostlight 2, the second stealth probe launched after the Erixa mission. The probe was watching from a distance as the alien cruiser drifted, powerless. Its AI analyzed every detail. The black triangle, the unknown object, moved closer to the cruiser, but not to attack. To observe, the alien ship's emergency beacons began blinking wildly, but they were jammed. Earth systems watched carefully. They hadn't fired anything, no missile, no EMP. But the object, whatever it was, had made the Zarnai ship stop. A minute passed, then 5, then 10. Suddenly the triangle vanished. No flash, no warp trail. Simply flickered out of existence, and so did the cruiser. Gone. No wreckage. No explosion, just dash nothing. On Argus Station, a technician whispered, "It's like the void swallowed them." Director Asha Malik stood frozen. Was it Archangel? No, the technician replied. Archangel never engaged. All systems dormant. Malik turned to General Hale. He said nothing, but his jaw clenched tight. They had not attacked the Zarnai ship. Something else had. Or maybe not attacked. Something had turned it off. Taken it out of reality, quietly. The man in black entered the room with a file in hand. His face looked different this time. Less confident we have a problem, he said. He placed a small metal shard on the table. It pulsed faintly, matching the signal from the Siberian artifact. Only now it was stronger, clearer, like it was alive. "What is that?" Malik asked. "It came from the obelisk in Antarctica," the man replied. "It emerged during the Zarnai incident. It's reacting." "To what? To us?" General Hale leaned in. "Or to whatever that object was." The shard emitted a low hum. Earth had thought its defenses were secret, its protocols, weapons, and stealth tech unmatched. But whatever appeared near that Zarnai cruiser wasn't Earth-made. Back in Dominion space, alarms rang. The cruiser failed to report. No return signal, no final transmission. The Dominion lost contact with an entire crew. It was their first real loss in over 100 years. The Galactic Chancellor called for answers. Explorers were dispatched. Patrols increased. Warships repositioned. But none of them moved toward Earth. Not yet. The Zarnai people, furious at the disappearance of their warriors, demanded immediate retaliation. Their admiral shouted before the Dominion Council, "They have killed our own. We must burn their skies." But the Vorak admiral stood in silence, watching. His eyes narrowed. His mind ran through history rumors, forbidden logs, old ghost stories. He muttered to himself, "The Black Triangle." "What did you say?" a nearby diplomat asked. "Nothing," the admiral replied. But his hand trembled. Back on Earth, news of the Zarnai disappearance was kept hidden from the public. Only the highest level officials knew. But across the planet, changes were being made. More probes launched, more satellites activated. Military units moved quietly. The Revenant Array adjusted its orbit to give full coverage over the solar system. And then, another signal arrived, not from the Dominion, from deep space. It was short and old Earth code. Bounced back from a distant point near the galactic edge. Translated, it said, "We see what watches from your skies. We remember. Don't wake them." Message had no sender. Malik read the line over and over.
"Who's we?"
she asked quietly. General Hale didn't answer. In the lower levels of Argus Base, the artifact began to change. It unfolded, twisting like metal paper. New symbols emerged. Along its surface shapes not seen on Earth before, its energy field grew, stronger, brighter, and something inside it opened, a hollow space, filled with light. Scientists scanned the chamber. Inside it was a map, not of Earth, not of the solar system, but of the galaxy. Marked in red were thousands of stars crossed out, and one word pulsed at the center, written in human code: extinct. General Hale whispered, This isn't just about us." Malik looked at the artifact. "You weren't the first." The man in black closed the file and stared at the map. "They thought we were alone. But someone else was here before. Someone who fought. And someone who failed." Above Earth, satellites shifted. Ghostlight 3 prepared to launch. The Revenant Array charged its systems again. Earth wasn't preparing for war anymore. It was preparing for something worse. The silence after first contact wasn't peace. It was the quiet before the galaxy remembered what it had tried to forget. And now Earth was part of it. The stars saw everything, or so the galaxy believed. No planet, no moon, no ship could truly hide. The Dominion had hundreds of scanners spread across the spiral arms, watching all known systems. But one morning, without warning, Earth vanished. Not from the ground, but from space, at 8:03 UTC. 33 Dominion star observatories lost Earth signal at the same second. The planet disappeared from all long-range sensors. Not just Earth, Luna, Mars. Even the sun's data stream went dark. It was as if the entire solar system had stopped existing. For 43 full seconds, Earth blinked. When it returned, it looked unchanged, but the damage was already done. The Galactic Council met in emergency session. Dominion sensor lords confirmed their systems had not failed. It was not a glitch, not a trick. Earth had simply gone. On the Dominion capital world, scientists argued, Some said Earth had triggered a cloaking field. Others feared a wormhole event. But none of them had ever seen such perfect silence from a system before. No gravity waves, no radiation trails, no neutrino noise. It was like space had closed its eyes and opened them again. Back on Earth, Argus Station was locked down, messages in or out. General Hale stood with Director Malik, watching as a giant screen showed the system from Ghostlight 3's perspective. The footage wasn't public, not even shared with world governments. Only a small team had clearance to see what really happened. The screen showed it clearly. One moment the Earth was there, blue, alive, rotating. Then it blinked out, gone. The stars behind it warped like glass rippling in water. Then, 43 seconds later, the ripple reversed and Earth returned. No explosion. No time skip, no harm to the planet. But something had changed. Malik stepped forward. How? The technician answered quietly. Project Mirage activated. Mirage had been one of Earth's darkest projects. Failsafe built during the final years of World War III, it was meant to hide critical areas, bases, labs, launch sites from orbital weapons. But what began as camouflage tech had evolved over the decades. With alien knowledge recovered from the Siberian Shard and Antarctica's obelisk, the Mirage system had grown into something else. A planetary cloaking field, powered by quantum tunneling. The system folded light, gravity, and energy around Earth like a shell. For a short time, it took Earth out of visible space. It made the whole planet vanish. Only 5 people on Earth had ever seen it work before. Now, the galaxy had dot and panic followed. Dominion Command couldn't explain what they saw. No known species had tech like this. Not even the ancient precursors had used total system cloaking. The fact that a so-called primitive species did, it first terrified them. If Earth could vanish without warning, what else could it do? In the stars above the Orion Arm, Dominion scouts tried to ping Earth again. They fired low-level sensor beams and quantum pulses into the system. Earth didn't respond, but someone else did. A warning beacon, old and forgotten, suddenly lit up. On the edge of Dominion space was from a dead planet called HFY. Long abandoned after a war no one remembered. The beacon played one message, in ancient tongue. Do not follow what vanishes. It may return stronger. At first, no one knew what it meant, but some remembered the legends. A race that could disappear, not Fleevenish, a species that used the void as a weapon. Whispers of them existed in band archives. Galaxies that burned, then turned cold. Planets that screamed, then went quiet. Systems that vanished, then came back. Wrong, back on Earth. Malik and Hale reviewed the results of the Mirage test. The system had worked perfectly, but it had also done something strange. The obelisk in Antarctica had reacted again. This time it extended a third section. A smooth, metallic blade rose from its side, humming like a tuning fork. Scientists called it a key, but no one knew what it unlocked. Malik turned to the artifact logs. Why does it keep changing every time we activate something? The lead scientist, Dr. Shaw, answered softly. I think it's not changing. It's remembering. Remembering what? Shaw hesitated. Us, or something like us. Meanwhile, hidden aboard Earth's stealth warship, RAVEN-7, a team of AI pilots tested the limits of Mirage in deep space. Using fragments of the technology, they cloaked, warped, and phased through areas previously thought unpassable. Edge of a neutron star, they blinked the ship in and out, faster than Dominion sensors could register. They passed by a scout ship undetected. They tagged 5 Dominion outposts with remote trackers, then vanished again. And then they returned. The Dominion noticed, not the warship, but the signs. Outposts found with their data cores sliced open, all internal logs erased. The only evidence left behind, a symbol. Simple. A circle crossed by 3 straight lines. No, known species claimed it, but when a Dominion linguist showed the symbol to the Galactic Council, one older member, a long-retired explorer, stood in shock. That's a Terran Sun glyph, he whispered. I saw it, centuries ago. On a derelict ship near the galactic rim. It was floating, empty, no crew, just that symbol burned into the floor. He had been told to forget it. The mission was sealed, erased now, it was back. Earth's glyph. Back on Earth. Heli prepared his team for the next stage. Operation Spectre. We proved we can hide, he said. Now we show them we can reach. Director Malik nodded. You want to hit them? No, I want to let them know we're already inside. Spectre wasn't just about weapons, it was about infiltration. For years, human spies had been planted. Inside, alien networks disguised as traders, engineers, even slaves. Using genetic masking and behavior mimicry, they'd gathered data, listened in on Dominion war councils, and mapped critical systems. Now those agents were waking, and they weren't just sending back reports, they were changing things. A failed Dominion ship launch. A reactor test gone wrong. A weapons cache exploding on a secure station. All labeled as accidents. But Earth knew better. They were the ghosts behind the curtain now, in the skies above. Archangel moved again just a little. Its eye updated. It's targeting logs with new information. Scout ship designs, sensor weaknesses, known fleet patterns. It needed no orders. The Dominion had called Earth a level 0 threat. Now it wasn't even sure. Earth belonged on the chart. Across the galaxy, one final thing happened. In the ruins of a lost outpost, Sarah 12 Dominion, archaeologists found a new message etched in stone, fresh, carved recently. Though the outpost had been dead for 1,000 years, it read, when Earth blinked, we opened our eyes. The galaxy had mocked Earth, called it slow, weak. But Earth had blinked, and the stars were now afraid to look away. The trade hub of Elion 6 sat quietly on the edge of Dominion space, shining station with tall spires and golden domes. It was a place of peace. Thousands of species passed through its halls, every day traders, diplomats, even spies. It was protected, neutral, and always calm. But that peace shattered at 2:41, its galactic standard time. The sky cracked open. It started as a ripple in space, just above the station. A shimmer, a distortion like heat over desert sand. No alarms sounded. The scanners picked up nothing. A few. Pilots stared up from their ship windows, confused. Then the ripple tore wider, jagged like broken glass. It revealed something behind it. Something huge. A black ship. Triangular. Silent. Slowly rotating. It had no lights. No markings. No visible engines. Just a shape. Massive. Unnatural. And terrifying. The station commander froze as her eyes met the main screen. What is that? She whispered. No one answered, because every sensor was failing. No mass. No energy. No known signature, but it was there, and it was watching. The first reaction came from the Jiraxi freighter docked at Bay 9. Its crew panicked and tried to leave. The moment they powered their engines, the black ship moved. Just a slight turn. The freighter's lights flickered, and then it shut down completely. Dead in space. No explosion. No damage. Just off. The trade hub went into full lockdown. All diplomats were evacuated. All ships were grounded. Every defense drone activated. But the black ship didn't attack. Just stayed there, floating, humming softly in a way no one could hear but. Everyone felt back on Earth, deep within Argus Station. The feed came in live. The Dominion didn't know it, but Earth's ghostlight probes had hacked into a dozen relay towers nearby. General Hale and Director Malik watched the footage in silence. So did leaders from every major Earth power. The ship in the footage was Earth's codenamed Ravager 1. It was the first fully autonomous Titan-class dreadnought. It's constructed in lunar orbit, powered by antimatter, wrapped in phase-shifting armor. No crew, no bridge. Just AI and one mission, to terrify. Project Revenant's secret. Weapon had finally stepped out of the shadows. Hale leaned back in his chair. This is our warning. Malik nodded. One ship. Message. As the message was not spoken, it was Shown.RAVAGER-1 began to move, not toward the station but through it. The ship drifted slowly, possibly like a ghost. As it passed, lights flickered across Ilion 6. Screens showed static. Communications cut. Everyone froze. No weapons fired. No lasers were charged. The ship never even opened a hatch. But the message was clear. We are here. We are inside your territory, and we are not afraid of you. As it passed, smaller Dominion escort ships tried to intercept. 3 charged their pulse weapons. The Ravager did nothing. Then they did. Their weapon systems fried. Their hulls cracked from inside, not from any beam, not from any blast. From a pressure and scene, unmeasured. All 3 ships went silent and drifted dead. It was over in seconds. Back at the trade hub, no one moved. No one spoke. The Ravager vanished. One moment it was there clear, sharp, terrifying. The next, only stars remained. The space it once occupied shimmered faintly for a moment. Like a ripple in a lake, then stillness and silence. In the Dominion High Council, chaos erupted. Reports from Ilion 6 triggered every emergency protocol. Commanders screamed over each other. Some demanded war, others demanded retreat. No one could agree on what the black ship even was. But one thing was certain. It had come from Earth. The scientists couldn't deny it anymore. The tech was nothing like theirs, but the energy trails matched the signature detected during Earth's blink. The cloaking, the gravity fold, the silence. It was Earth. The Chancellor called for answers. How did primitives create such a monster? No one knew, because Earth had built in silence, in secret, in shadows. For decades, it had listened, watched, and waited. Now it was moving. On Earth, Hal gave the final order: activate Phase 2. All over the planet, silent launch stations opened. Hidden beneath oceans, mountains, deserts, they released payloads into the sky small, fast, cloaked. Dozens of new Ghostlight probes scattered across space, not to fight, but to scout every Dominion world, to map them, to understand their weaknesses, to prepare. Director Malik received a report. From Raven 4, Earth's deep infiltration AI, it had breached a Dominion vault. The message was simple. They're afraid. The Council is splitting. One more strike, and the illusion of control will break. Hale smiled grimly. He opened a secure channel. For the first time, Earth sent a broadcast to the stars, not encrypted. Not hidden, public. Clear, loud. The voice was human, male, calm. You wanted to test us? Now we test you. The message was repeated 27 times in galactic, standard language. Then Earth went silent again. The Dominion scrambled to respond. But it was already too late. News of the black ship had spread across the galaxy. On 100 worlds, small. Species whispered in awe, some laughed, some cried, some prepared to surrender just in case. The fear spread faster than any weapon they had mocked. Now Earth had shown its face, not with words, but with a ship that tore the sky open, and reminded the stars' death, now came wearing blue and green. The Dominion's inner circle met in silence. For the first time in centuries, there was no laughter, no insults, no mockery. Ilion 6 had gone dark for 3 minutes. Their greatest trade hub, the jewel of diplomacy, had been passed through. Like a ghost. 3 warships lost. Hundreds of diplomats traumatized. The black triangle-shaped ship from Earth Ravager 1 had come and gone without resistance. The Chancellor stood with a grim face as the images played again. The stars twisting, the silence, the way the Dominion fleet had simply failed to react. This cannot be Earth, he said. But even his voice lacked power now. A junior intelligence officer, shaking, stepped forward with a datapad. We received a warning. Shh, she said. Days ago, from Outpost Harnax. The council chamber fell quiet. Harnax was one of their oldest sensor stations located far outside Dominion core space. It was manned by a dozen Varick scientists and left mostly forgotten. The Dominion considered it unimportant. The officer played the final message. The recording crackled, shaky with background interference. A tired alien voice spoke. To the Council, if this reaches you, it means we failed. We saw them, the humans, but they are not just humans anymore. Something else stands behind them, something older. We believe it was sleeping, until the galaxy mocked their home. The voice coughed. Someone in the background screamed. They vanished from sensors for 43 seconds. We thought it was an error, but now, the stars here have stopped moving. Another scream. The final words came fast. If you're hearing this, do not provoke Earth again. They are no longer prey. The recording ended. No one in the chamber moved. The Chancellor slowly sat down. Why didn't we hear this earlier? He asked. The officer lowered her head. The message was delayed. It got caught in the outer node traffic. We only decrypted it after the Ilion incident. Another counselor stood up. Have we tried sending envoys to Earth? Diplomats. Apologies. Dull, said the Chancellor finally. Because we still don't understand what we're dealing with. In the shadows of the council room, an old Vorak admiral raised his hand. He had not spoken since the Erixa system disappeared. I warned you, he said softly. Long ago, I led a mission to the rim. We found a silent station shaped like a spear. It had no crew. Just one message burned into the wall. The room leaned closer. It said, do not follow the path of Earth. Let them remain forgotten. And someone asked. He looked up, his eyes dark. We ignored it. Back on Earth, Argus Station hummed with quiet energy. Vigor 1 had returned. To its deep space rotation point, cloaked again. Ghostlight probes were still expanding across Dominion systems. Dozens of alien worlds now had invisible human eyes watching their skies. Director Malik entered the black vault beneath the base. It was time. The Siberian shard, the artifact, had changed again. It now projected holographic symbols, floating. In the air, scientists didn't understand the symbols, but they recognized one shape, the triple-line glyph Earth had seen before, burned into the floor of an abandoned Dominion wreck centuries ago. Now the glyph pulsed like a heartbeat. Malik placed her hand on the surface. For the first time, the shard responded. It unfolded. Inside was a sphere of light hovering. Spinning slowly, Malik stepped back as a message began to play, not in sound but in raw emotion. Fear, anger, sadness, triumph. The AI running the chamber translated the data. One word appeared on screen. Remains. What does that mean? She asked. The AI answered. It is a warning. This is not Earth's weapon. It is what remains. Of something older, and the power fluctuated. A second message appeared on screen. Clearer, this time in English. They called us extinct. We're not. We waited. And now, they've woken our children. Alex's voice was a whisper. The artifact. It's not just technology, it's memory. Above Earth, the Revenant Array began rerouting power. Its orbital weapons stopped. Charging. Instead, the entire system went into scan mode, sweeping deep into space, past the galactic arm. Toward a region no one had observed before, a system of dead stars, buried ruins, and motion small, but rising. Back in Dominion space, the Council finally voted. Too late, they agreed to send an envoy to Earth, but the message never arrived, just outside Dominion territory. The envoy ship passed through a quiet sector. No ships, no stations. Then, a light appeared in the void. Not an attack, a shaped an eye, glowing blue. Watching, the crew of the envoy ship began to panic. Engines shut down. Gravity failed. All systems fell silent. And then the same message played louder. This time, from nowhere. From everywhere you mocked our silence. Now, you will learn what woke with us. The ship vanished. Gone without trace. When the Council learned, it fell into chaos. They tried to send war fleets, but the wormhole gates started failing. Their long-range comms broke down. Something was inside their networks. Old, alien, hidden. Like Earth's hand was reaching deeper than anyone imagined. Director Malik, standing in the core of Argus Base, watched a new image appear on the shard's surface. Symbol not just Earth's triple-line glyph, but dozens more other worlds. Other races, all crossed out, except one Earth. Still. Glowing, still rising, Malik turned to Hale, spoke the words that now echoed across the control rooms of every human base. They thought we were weak. But they never asked why we survived when others didn't. Hale stared at the screen. Stars were shifting. Something big was moving across the far edge of space. The AI confirmed it. A fleet was coming. But it wasn't Dominion. It was something else. Something ancient. Something Earth had never created but now remembered. And it was answering Earth's. Awakening too late, Dominion realized the truth. Earth wasn't rising alone. It was calling the forgotten, and the sky had already started to break. The stars were moving, not slowly like they had for billions of years, but unnaturally. Like something ancient had stirred them, pushed them, bent them. In Dominion space, observatories went offline one by one. Star maps twisted. Deep-range sensors went blind. But Earth knew exactly what was happening, because Earth had called them. In Argus Station, Director Malik stood in the command center, watching the galaxy-wide alerts come in. Ghostlight probes were sending strange data. Patterns in the stars, shapes in the radiation. Hidden signals buried under cosmic noise, not random, not natural. Messages. A technician turned pale. "Ma'am, the artifact just opened again." Down in the vault, the Siberian shard was now glowing like a star, its surface alive with motion. Dozens of holographic shapes spun around its symbols, languages, unknown alphabets. But at the center was Earth's glyph, pulsing steadily. Beside it, new ones. Symbols from lost races. The Karax, the Valari. The more dashed than extinct, or so the Dominion believed. Now, one by one, their symbols glowed again, Malik whispered. "They're not gone." The AI in the vault confirmed it. Confirmed, subspace traces match known decay patterns from vanished species. Signals are coordinated. Location converging on outer rim near Dominion Sector 09. General Hale leaned over the command desk. "How many?" the AI answered. 4 major power signatures. 3 unknown. All moving faster than warp threshold. Hale said nothing for a moment. Then he turned to the room. "Wake up every fleet. Pull every hidden weapon online. Earth isn't alone anymore. It's in space, near the abandoned ruins of Kareth 5. Something impossible happened." The void rippled.
Odd like.
Before, not like Earth's cloaking. This was bigger, deeper. A black ring opened, a gateway. Out of it came a ship, old, broken, covered in scars, but still flying. Its shape was like a dagger, carved from stone. Its engine glowed faintly red. As it passed through, thousands of silent drones followed. It tiny spiked. It's rotating slowly. It was a Valari battle relic, last seen 10,000 years ago, lost during the War of Burning Suns. And behind it, more ships, from other races. All different, all forgotten, all answering Earth's silent call. The message Earth had sent, "Now we test you," wasn't just a warning to the Dominion. It was a key, a signal, and the forgotten had heard it across. The galaxy, small races watched in terror. Trade worlds went quiet. Pirate clans abandoned their ships. Even the Dominion's war fleets slowed their patrols, because from the edges of known space, 7 new fleets were coming together, unified and not flying, Dominion banners on Earth. People began to see strange lights in the sky, not stars, not satellites, chips. Some hovered in high orbit, just visible with the naked eye. But none attacked, none spoke. They were just there waiting. Hale addressed the world through a secure broadcast, viewed only by military leaders and top intelligence. "Staff, we are not the first to be mocked, but we may be the last." He played recovered data from one of the ancient ships, a voice recorded in a lost language. The AI translated it. "Earth lit the fire we buried. Now we return to finish what the stars never dared." At the edge of Dominion, space panic turned to collapse. One Dominion colony sent out a distress call, black ships hovering above. No weapons fired, just staring. We tried to hail them. They responded with silence. A second colony reported the same, then a third. One by one, the outer systems went dark. Not attacked, just turned off. Meanwhile, Earth's old warning system, the Revenant Arabi, began transmitting strange readings. It picked up flashes near the galactic core, something stirring, massive power spikes. But not aimed at Earth, aimed at the Dominion homeworld. The AI translated one final pattern. You mocked. Earth. We remember Earth. We stand beside Earth. Malik stepped into the vault again. The artifact had finished its transformation. It was now floating. It's fully unfolded like a living machine from its center. A message played this time using human language directly. A voice. Cold. Hollow. But familiar. We failed to stop them. You may not. Use what we left. Do not repeat our mistake. Never spare those who mock what survives. Hale ordered the message broadcasted to every human fleet. Every base. Every listening ear in the solar system, across Earth, bunkers opened. Titan-class warships rose from deep oceans. Ion pulse railguns activated on the dark side of the moon. The Ravager returned from deep space, followed now by two more vessels, Ravager 2 and Ravager 3. Newly completed. Earth's sky was no longer just human. It had allies. Forgotten ones. Malik looked out the observation window above her. A ship hung low in orbit. It wasn't human. Its metal shimmered with alien writing. It had no visible engines, no lights. But when she looked at it, she didn't feel fear. She felt something older. It's memory that wasn't hers. She turned to Hale. They're not just here to help. No, he said. They're here to finish what they started. And they remember how. It's the heart of Dominion. Space. The Council finally prepared for full war, armies raised, fleets launched, but even they could feel it. It wasn't just Earth they were fighting now. It was history itself, and history had not forgotten the stars that laughed. The Dominion's capital world, Kreiner Prime, had never seen war. For 2,000 years it ruled without fear. Its sky was filled with banners of power, its streets paved with crystal, its towers touched the clouds. Every race that served the Dominion had looked up at Kreiner Prime and believed it would last forever. But on the final day, it rained silence. The first sign wasn't fire, it was cold. A quiet cold that spread through space around the planet. Sensor. Drones failed. Comms turned to static. The great defensive satellites that circled the system slowly shut down one by one. No explosions, no hacking, just off. Then the sky broke. Earth's Ravager fleet dropped out of stealth. 5 black ships, shaped like ancient blades, hovering above Kreiner's orbit. But they weren't alone. With them came the forgotten Valari sky barges, drifting like shadows. More than hunter arcs, long thought destroyed. Even a fleet from the extinct Jasek Brotherhood. Race wiped out by the Dominion 6,000 years ago, they returned together. No fleet stood against them, because the Dominion had sent everything to the wrong front. Earth had played them. The Dominion's war fleets were stretched thin, guarding outer colonies, protecting borders, hunting ghosts that never existed. While Earth and the dead came, straight to the heart. In the high chambers of the Dominion Council, alarms screamed. The Chancellor stood frozen. Watching the orbital feed, they came to our doorstep, he whispered. An aide shouted, should we launch? Fire planetary cannons? But there were no targets to lock on. The Ravager ships didn't have standard engines. They didn't show up on conventional sensors. They simply floated, silent, waiting. Then, at exactly 9:47 local time, the broadcast began. A human voice. Calm, clear, cold. This is Earth. We are not here to ask. We are here to end. Across the planet, every screen changed. In markets, in homes, in war rooms, the message repeated, you mocked our survival. You erased our ancestors. You enslaved our refugees. You laughed when we begged. And now you will learn why Earth stands when others fell. From the skies, white streaks descended, not bombs, memory beacons. Each one struck the ground and opened, showing holograms of cities burned by the Dominion, of species slaughtered, of Earth begging for peace. And being ignored, each image played across. KRYNAR-prime. Children cried, soldiers. Hesitated civilians dropped to their knees, because they finally saw what the Dominion had become. The Forgotten didn't attack immediately. They waited, letting fear spread, letting the truth settle. Then came the final signal from Earth's artifact. Now fully activated, its transmission reached every system at once. We were made by pain, forged in silence, tempered by fire, and now we return the lesson. That was when the sky lit up, but not from Earth's ships. The Dominion's own reactors started failing across cities. Power shut down, gravity lifts crashed, defense fields collapsed, and from the void above, Earth's allies moved in. Not with bombs, but with precision. Each building that housed, war councils erased, each vault that held enslaved. AI freed, each tower that once broadcast lies silenced. The Ravager 1 fired only once, a single black beam that pierced the Dominion's central spire, the tower that had ruled. Millions of worlds cracked down the center and fell sideways slow. Massive final, no one cheered, not on Earth, not in orbit, not even among the Forgotten, because this was not victory. This was justice delayed. Moment earned through centuries of pain, Director. Malik watched it all unfold from the Argus command screen. She didn't speak. General Hale stood beside her. They thought silence was weakness, he said. Malik nodded. But silence was the storm, holding its breath. One last transmission came from Kryn, Meta Prime, not from the Chancellor, from a child. Somehow, she had found a working signal, her voice. Reached Earth and every ship above. Please, she said. No more. The room went quiet. Even the Ravager ships stopped moving. Malik gave the order, ceasefire. The Forgotten obeyed. Not out of weakness, but because Earth chose to stop. That was the final message, not war. Restraint, the Dominion, didn't fall in fire. It fell in silence. In the months that followed, Earth did not claim territory, did not demand gold or planets or slaves. Instead, it broadcast one rule to the galaxy: do not harm the broken. Do not mock the weak, or we will return. The symbol of Earth, the triple-line sun glyph, was burned into the moons of Krynner as a warning, but also as a grave marker. For every race, the Dominion erased, and every ghost. Earth had now brought back. Earth returned home. Not as a conqueror, but as something greater the galaxy had feared. Monsters. But the monsters were never on Earth. The monsters had ruled in the open. And now they were gone. In the final archive of Dominion history, one entry was recorded before. The system shut down. We mocked them. Then the sky opened. And death arrived with a human face. And far beyond the galactic rim, in places no eye could see, the Forgotten watched. They had remembered Earth. Now they remembered themselves. And the stars would never laugh again.